Hey everyone, I'm Joshua Orro, the Mustang Prince, and welcome to Mustang Prince Orro Reports. Now today, we're going to look at a very special episode and a fan favorite from Sofia the first season, where Sofia, along with her sister Amber, take a magical carpet ride while exploring the Arabian kingdom of Tangu. So, let's just get started. Airing on television on June 14th, 2013, this is To Tangu. Now, in this episode, Sofia and Amber visit Prince Xandar in the kingdom of Tangu and meet a very special kind of magic carpet. Unfortunately, Sofia and Amber get lost and must find a way to get to Tangu Peak with the help of Princess Jasmine. So, my thoughts? Well, not only is this episode a fan favorite, but it's also a lot of fun. And yes, I absolutely love this episode. But to further explain why, let's move on to Mustang notes. Now, firstly, this episode's title is based off the phrase to tango. Secondly, the moral of this episode is you should never be afraid to try something new, which is another value that I know about because when I was young, I used to be afraid to try out new things, like a new ride at Disneyland, and after my first time going, I ended up having a blast. And thirdly, and crazily of all, this would have to be the very first episode to be featured on more than one DVD. Also to note, this episode was aired during Disney Junior's Pirate and Princess Summer during the summer of 2013, and they made a very special song called Be Who You Wanna Be, sung by both Sofia and Jake. Plus, this episode was mentioned during the Curse of Princess Ivy special, which was the special that almost killed off my blog show due to a false copyright strike. Darn those Nazis. As for the animation, well, I still think Toei does a great job with the CGI animation, and I just love how they designed Tangu. I mean, not only does it look like a Middle Eastern kingdom, but it feels reminiscent to Agrabah. Speaking of which, during early 2013, a few months before this episode aired on TV, I got to perform as the Sultan in Aladdin at Musical Theater Village. Special props to my good friend Aurora Long Culver, aka Rory, for directing that show. Anyway, I like the several different places that are seen throughout the episode. There's Prince Xandar's palace, the Tangu marketplace / village, the Hanging Gardens, and Tangu Peak. Also, I think the flying carpet scenes are both thrilling, whimsical, and amazing. Speaking of which, let's move on to the episode's song number, Ride of Your Lives, sung by Princess Jasmine, while teaching Sofia and Amber how to tame a wild carpet and how to not be afraid when trying new things so that the girls can get out of the Hanging Gardens. To me, this is one of my favorite songs from Season 1, and I think it's very uplifting. Plus, like A Whole New World, I usually feel like I'm flying every time I listen to it. Also, now that I think about it, hopefully soon, if I can go back to Florida again, I can finally get my chance to ride Aladdin's magic carpets at the Magic Kingdom. And now let's move on to the characters and the voice actors who brought him to life. Princess Sofia is voiced again by Ariel Winter, whom has voiced young Kyrie in Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, Marina in Jake and the Neverland Pirates, young Trixie in Speed Racer, Penny Peterson from DreamWorks' Mr. Peabody and Sherman, and Smurf Lily in Smurfs The Lost Village. The thing that I like about Sofia in this episode is that she's adventurous, fun, daring, optimistic, and is always willing to take chances and take charge. Sofia's sister, Princess Amber, is voiced again by Darcy Rose Byrnes, whom was in Desperate Housewives and Spirit Riding Free. In this episode, Amber seems very hesitant about riding a magic carpet, and she doesn't seem to want to take chances or try new experiences. Also, during the episode, there are a couple funny moments involving her, like when her hair gets messed up or when she gets a date stuffed in her mouth. Also to note, this would have to be the second episode where Amber almost discovers Sofia's secret when her amulet summoned Princess Jasmine, but thankfully she fails due to Sofia's quick thinking and shrugging it off as nothing. Next we have the magic carpet. Now, this character is one of a few magic carpets belonging to Prince Xandar, but unlike the others, this one is a wild carpet according to Princess Jasmine, until it was tamed by Sofia and Amber with some help from Jasmine. To me, this carpet is kind of similar to the magic carpet we all know from Aladdin, who also makes an appearance in this episode. However, because of Amber's fear, the carpet becomes disobedient and gives the girls a wild ride. Also, I thought it was pretty funny when the carpet stole Amber's tiara and when it plays a few tricks on the girls. Next is Madame You Betcha, voiced by Nika Futterman, who voiced Asajj Ventress in Star Wars The Clone Wars, Zira in The Lion Guard, and Mizrabel from Castle of Illusion starring Mickey Mouse. Now, the last time I talked about Madame You Betcha was during my blog of Finding Clover, which aired and took place after this episode, where she was a minor supporting character helping Sofia find and rescue Clover. Plus, I still stand by that Nika Futterman's voice for You Betcha makes her sound pretty similar to the late June Foray. Anyway, in this episode, You Betcha offers Sofia and Amber some cryptic advice to find Tangu Peak. Another character to talk about is Prince Xandar, voiced by Karen Breyer, whom was in The Diary of a Wimpy Kid trilogy, Stargirl, and Mira Royal Detective. Now, most of us who've watched the show all know that Xandar is Prince James' closest friend, and in this episode, Xandar hosts a fun event at Tangu Peak. Plus, there's a subplot where Xandar tries to impress Princess Hildegard. Finally, we come to our guest character, Princess Jasmine, voiced by Linda Larkin, who played a teacher in the absolute worst thriller that I've ever seen. Anyway, Jasmine is the second Disney princess to be summoned by Princess Elena via the Amulet of Avalor, and she assists Sofia and Amber by teaching them not to be afraid to try new things. Plus, she helps Sofia learn how to take charge. Also, I agree with Jasmine that taming a wild carpet is like taming a wild horse, which kind of makes me think back to a special where Jasmine tamed a horse named Sahara in the Disney Princess Enchanted Tales series. And now let's move on to my final words. Overall, 2 to Tangu is a terrific episode. The setting in Tangu is absolutely nostalgic. Sofia and Amber have great chemistry together while learning to have a great adventure with a magic carpet. Princess Jasmine was a wonderful guest character, and her song was absolutely uplifting. Also, while the subplot involving Prince Xandar and Hildegard is okay, but entertaining, the main plot shines through with a very powerful moral of not being afraid to break out of your comfort zone and try new things. As for my rating, well, I'll give this episode a full 100%. Well, folks, that's all for now. Be sure to join me for a very special 4th of July blog starring 2 Christmas characters. Mustang Power.